Alien girl transformed after inhaling human pheromones. In a distant corner of the universe, where the light of the stars has faded into icy bands of cold, the planet Proxima Centauri 4 exists as a harsh world few dare to step foot on. The entire planet is consumed by brutal sandstorms lasting for months and never ceasing. Gigantic sand dunes cover cities, obscure fields, and blur human mining structures. This land, though desolate, contains a precious resource. Proxy, a mineral capable of providing superior energy for faster-than-light engines, something humanity desperately needs to maintain its competitive edge in the highly competitive galactic economy. Alex Carter, a tough soldier of the Alliance, clad in his heavy exosuit, walks across the surface of Proxima 4. His protective suit is not only a tool to help him withstand the planet's harsh temperatures, but also a sturdy armor that shields him from sandstorms and surprise attacks from enemies. Alex's brown hair sticks to his forehead, sweat beading on his face, despite the suit's cooling system working at full capacity to keep him from overheating. Standing in the vast desert, Alex can't help but sigh, reflecting on his monotonous work. Another perfect day in paradise. He mutters, brushing his disheveled hair as he gazes into the distance, where jagged mountains loom faintly in the harsh red sunlight. The surroundings remain unchanged, raw and unforgiving, but for Alex, this is home, the place he has lived and fought for years. The Proxy mining station, quietly nestled in this vast desert, is one of the hot spots of the Alliance's economy. The mines operate 24/7, tirelessly digging into the earth to extract precious Proxy minerals, serving the energy needs of human space stations and spacecraft. However, what many don't know is that this planet is not owned by humans. It belongs to an alien species, the indigenous Scarn tribes. The Scarn, a race of powerful beings with a hostile nature, view Proxima Centauri 4 as their ancestral homeland. Despite peace treaties between humans and the Scarn, sporadic attacks continue to occur, making the Proxy mining station a constant target for raids. The Scarn tribes see the mining operations as a desecration of their sacred land, and over the years, they have relentlessly attacked the mining station, destroying machinery and causing severe damage. This time, the mining station is preparing for a Federation inspection, an event Alex can't help but feel anxious about. Every time this happens, the Federation officials arrive and demand the completion of complicated procedures and paperwork. Managers and scientists are once again tangled in paperwork and annoying checks. But none of them understand that, beyond the administrative issues, they are also facing a dangerous enemy lurking in the shadows, the Scarn tribes, who have never accepted the presence of humans on their land. 3 weeks with no sign of them, Alex thought, his eyes scanning the horizon where the sandstorms still howled. But this time will be different. A sense of unease enveloped him, as if a great storm was about to hit. Just as Alex prepared to continue his patrol, his superior's voice crackled through the intercom. "Carter, get ready. The Federation inspection team will be here in 20 minutes. We need you at the landing pad." Alex quickly waved in acknowledgement and hurried toward the landing pad, where a Federation shuttle was preparing to land. He couldn't help but think of the dangers this inspection might bring, not only from the outside, but possibly from forces within the Federation itself. "This is definitely going to be trouble," he sighed, continuing to walk as the hot wind blasted his face. When Alex arrived at the landing pad, his mind was still filled with thoughts about the upcoming Federation inspection. Every time this happened, environmental regulations and mining safety policies were always the source of tension, and no one at the station truly welcomed a Federation inspection. The ever-increasing paperwork and procedures made him feel exhausted. But he knew, in this line of work, there was no other choice but to do his duty well. The engine noise of the spacecraft shattered the quiet atmosphere of the desolate planet. From afar, Alex could see the shuttle descending with the precision and silence of a perfect machine. The shuttle's propellers slowly descended, sending a wave of hot air across the space. Alex straightened up, immediately changing his posture, ready for the greeting task. As the spacecraft's stairs descended, a figure appeared from the shadows of the shuttle. Alex had to squint to adjust his vision, but he immediately felt the difference. She wasn't like any diplomat he had met before. Zara and Alex stepped out. gracefully and confidently, her silver hair billowing in the harsh red sunlight. The hair wasn't just ordinary silver. It emitted a shimmering glow as if each strand had its own source of energy. Her skin was emerald green, like the clean waves of the ocean, but it wasn't soft as it seemed. It reflected the light in strange ways, creating an ethereal effect as she moved. Each step Zara took exuded determination and allure, entirely different from humans. Her body, though slender and full of vitality, carried a wild beauty that Alex couldn't explain. She wasn't an ordinary woman, and that quickly became apparent. Zara looked around the station, her eyes scanning the structures and operations, but it was clear she wasn't distracted by her surroundings. She was solely focused on what she needed to do. "Alex Carter? Right?" Zara spoke, her voice gentle yet full of authority. "I am Zara Leorin, a Federation diplomat. I've been sent here to inspect your compliance with environmental treaties and resource protection policies." Her words were calm but carried undeniable strength and power. Alex couldn't help but be surprised by Zara's confidence, a confidence unlike any diplomat he had ever encountered. He nodded, immediately realizing he wasn't just welcoming an ordinary diplomat, but someone who could change his entire life. "Welcome to Outpost Dune, Zara. I will show you around," Alex replied, trying to keep his voice professional. As the two of them walked together toward the central area, Alex couldn't help but feel the oddness in the air. Though Zara tried to maintain a serious, professional demeanor, Alex noticed something different in her eyes. It wasn't judgment, but a strange feeling that made him unable to look away from her. Their relationship began here, a fateful encounter that Alex never knew would change his life entirely. As they continued walking toward the main area of the station, the air between them suddenly grew heavy. Zara abruptly stopped, taking a deep breath as if she had just discovered something. "Alex," Zara said, her voice trembling, "there's something very strange. I feel my body changing." Alex looked at Zara with surprise. He didn't know why, but this change marked the beginning of unforeseen events. As they continued walking, Alex felt something odd in the air, as if the atmosphere between them had thickened, become more tense. Zara still moved beside him, but she suddenly stopped, breathing heavily. It was a very strange feeling. Zara didn't look at him, but Alex could sense the change in her body with every breath she took. "Zara, are you okay?" Alex asked, his voice full of concern, looking at her. Zara leaned slightly forward, her hands trembling as she gripped the edge of a nearby table. Her eyes widened, her gaze strange and filled with confusion. A strange feeling spread through her body, as if something was slowly awakening, some power she couldn't control. "Alex," Zara gasped, "I feel very strange. Something inside me is changing." Before Alex could react, he suddenly noticed a clear transformation. Zara's body began to change rapidly, her curves becoming more defined, her emerald skin starting to glow, the light emphasizing her newfound alluring beauty in a way that words couldn't express. These changes were not only visible but also felt clearly in the air. Zara tried to keep calm, but her body seemed to be resisting her control. "I can't stop," she said, her eyes flickering with a hint of panic. This can't be happening." Alex froze, confusion spreading. "What's going on? Don't you feel okay?" Zara took a deep breath, as if trying to push back the transformation taking place. But it was impossible. Her body was reacting intensely, her senses suddenly becoming extremely sharp. Every sound, every movement in the surrounding space seemed more vivid, and a wave of powerful emotions surged within her. "Alex, I'm a Vixen," Zara panted, her eyes looking at him with helplessness. "Our species, our mating cycle can only be triggered by the pheromone of a compatible male. And I can't believe this is happening with a human." Alex stood frozen, unable to fully comprehend what Zara had just said. Vixen? Pheromones? This was something unprecedented, and everything was happening so fast that he couldn't keep up. But looking at the powerful change in Zara's body, he understood this was no joke. "So, does this mean my pheromone triggered your mating cycle?" Alex asked, his voice trembling, confusion making him feel almost speechless. Zara nodded, her body continuing to change. "Yes, and I can't control it. This is an extremely powerful physiological reaction, and for my species, it is crucial. But never have I felt this reaction near a human. This can't be happening. It can't." Zara leaned back, trying to find support in an empty space with no one but Alex. But the transformation in her body didn't slow down. Everything around her seemed to become blurry, as if she was sinking into a whirlwind. The discomfort felt like some force was invading every cell in her body, leaving her unable to take control. "Alex," Zara whispered, her eyes filled with desperation. "I can't stop this feeling. I can't control it. And if it continues, I don't know what will happen to me." Alex stood beside Zara, seeing the transformation in her eyes, the feeling of helplessness and fear growing clearer. The sense of responsibility overwhelmed him. What had he done? What could he do to help her? "We have to find a solution, Zara," Alex said, gripping her hand, trying to offer some comfort. "I'll help you. I won't leave you alone." Zara looked at him, her eyes seemingly searching for salvation. "But I'm a Vixen, Alex. Our species has extremely powerful mating cycles, and they can't stop once they've begun. And now, when it's been triggered, only a compatible male can soothe this physiological storm. But I never thought I'd face this with a human." The whole room seemed to grow silent, with only the sound of Zara's heavy breathing and the sandstorms outside, as if time had stopped. Alex stood silently before her, the weight of responsibility heavy on his shoulders. A feeling of helplessness rose in him as he saw Zara struggling with changes he couldn't fully understand. He couldn't imagine the feelings she was going through, but one thing was clear. It was his pheromone, his presence, that had caused all of this to happen. "It's my fault," Alex whispered, his voice low and full of concern. "I didn't realize how strongly my pheromone would affect you." The feeling of guilt began to spread, but there was no time to waste in negative thoughts. Zara needed him, and he couldn't let her face this alone. Zara tried to take a deep breath, her emerald eyes filled with confusion and fear. Her body began to heat up, but this change was something she couldn't control. Her hands trembled, and every time she tried to grip something, her body reacted in ways she couldn't control. She felt like a fierce storm was sweeping away all her thoughts, leaving only instinct and a powerful urge. "Alex, Zara couldn't continue. Her voice choked, her eyes welling up. Alex stepped forward, looking at her with concern, trying to maintain his composure. "Zara, let me help you. Can you tell me what I need to do? What do you need?" Zara looked into his eyes, her gaze filled with emotion. "I don't know. I can't stop. If this continues, my body will lose control completely. I've never gone through this with a human," Zara said, her voice dropping like a fearful confession. Alex could feel the desperation in her voice. A part of him wanted to embrace her, comfort her, but he knew he had to keep his distance, not let personal feelings complicate the situation further. He couldn't afford to weaken now, because if he didn't stay focused, Zara wouldn't make it through. "Zara, you have to trust me. I will help you. You don't have to face this alone," Alex said, his voice determined but filled with concern. He didn't know what to do next, but he was clear about one thing. This was his responsibility. He had to find a way to help Zara, no matter how chaotic things were around him. But Zara wasn't fully calm yet. She quickly stood up, her body constantly changing, muscles tightening, and her emerald skin glowing, sending out strange lights that warped the air around her. Zara couldn't stop. The uncontrollable physiological reactions caused her pain. "Alex," she gasped, looking at him with pleading eyes. "Please, help me." Alex saw the pain and confusion in her eyes, and it made him wrestle with himself. Deep emotions he had tried to suppress all this time surged up within him. His worry for Zara extinguished all rationality. He knew, no matter what, he couldn't abandon her. But how could he help her without making things more complicated? As Zara continued to struggle with the uncontrollable physiological changes, Alex felt his own body tense. The scent of his pheromones was making the situation even harder. Zara's changes seemed to be pushing him into a situation he couldn't control, a situation he never imagined. Zara turned to look at Alex, her hands trembling. I can't fight my body anymore. It's controlling me, and I can't control it." Alex stepped closer, but part of him still tried to keep his distance, not wanting personal feelings to influence his actions. "Zara, I'll help you, but you need to stay calm. You need to help me figure out how to deal with this." Zara closed her eyes, feeling the tension in her body, and then a strange sensation emerged, a connection between her and Alex, a strange bond that she had never felt with anyone. But could it be salvation, or was it a wildfire that would burn everything down? "Alex," Zara whispered, her eyes widening as she realized the profound change in both of them. "Maybe we're not just fighting my body, but something bigger than that." Everything around them seemed to slow down, as if space and time no longer mattered. Alex felt something stronger than himself pulling him closer to Zara, a connection that couldn't be explained but couldn't be resisted. In the quiet of the temporary office room, Alex and Zara stood facing each other. The tension between them seemed to rise, both of them facing unpredictable changes. A strange, powerful connection began to form between them. Zara felt her body growing more sensitive, a sensation she had never experienced before. Every time Alex got closer, she could clearly feel a stirring in her body, as if something inside her was reacting to his presence. The physiological changes in Zara were no longer just pain, but also a magnetic allure that she couldn't resist. She felt stronger than ever, but she couldn't control the sensation. Every time she was near him, her body became more captivating, her skin sparkling, the light from her body reflecting in a magical way. Zara tried to hold back, but these reactions were growing stronger, and it made both of them feel uneasy. Alex, despite trying to keep his professionalism, couldn't avoid the chaotic feelings within him. He felt himself being drawn into something he couldn't explain, but at the same time, he struggled to not let this attraction cause him to lose his rationality. His relationship with Zara had changed completely in just a few hours, and this made him feel like he was on a path he couldn't turn back from. "Zara, I don't know what to do. I can't let things spiral out of control," Alex admitted, his gaze sincere and full of concern. "We can't let this change affect our work. You're a diplomat, and I'm just a soldier. Our relationship can't go beyond this boundary." Zara looked at him, her eyes reflecting a fear she had never felt before. "Alex, I understand, but there's one thing I can't deny. My body is changing, and every time I'm near you, I feel that change more intensely. I can't stop it. I can't avoid it." She raised her hand, her fingers trembling as she touched her skin, as if trying to regain control. "My body is stronger now, more beautiful, but I can't help but fear the long-term consequences. Will I lose control of myself? Can I still maintain my diplomatic role as these changes keep developing?" Alex looked at Zara with deep understanding. He knew that this wasn't just a physiological issue, but also a huge mental challenge for her. Zara was a Federation diplomat, and these changes could cost her the respect and professionalism she had worked for years to build. Alex didn't want that to happen, not just because of his responsibility, but because of the respect he had for her. "Zara," he said, his voice gentle but determined, "we'll find a way to get through this. You don't have to face this alone. We'll figure out how to control this change without harming your work and political relationships." Zara looked into Alex's eyes, and in them she no longer saw fear, but a small glimmer of hope. She wanted to trust his words, but she didn't know if it was really possible. These changes in her body weren't just a physiological issue. They were affecting everything in her life, her perception of herself, and even the developing relationship between her and Alex. "Alex, I don't know what the future holds, but I can't let these changes ruin what I've built. I can't let the Federation see me as an experiment just because I'm a Vixen. I am a diplomat, and I have a responsibility to my people," Zara said, her voice filled with determination. Alex nodded, fully aware that there was nothing more he could do except continue supporting her. But in that moment, he felt that the connection between them was not just a simple act of assistance. There was something between them that was developing, something he couldn't explain but couldn't deny. The feeling became more and more apparent, as if there was an irresistible pull, and it made it impossible for him to take his eyes off Zara. "We'll figure this out," Alex repeated, but this time with more confidence. "I'll be here with you, not just because of my responsibility, but because I believe that together we can overcome everything, as long as we work together." Zara smiled gently, warmth spreading in her heart. "Thank you, Alex. That means so much to me. I don't know what I'll become, but I hope we can maintain this connection, no matter what happens." As they stood there, amidst the uncontrollable changes and the challenges awaiting them, Alex and Zara realized that their relationship was no longer just an inspection. It had become a journey full of challenges. A struggle not just against physiological changes, but also against the expectations and responsibilities both of them had to face. And through this process, they would discover that the connection between them was stronger than anything they could have imagined. After hours of tension and worry, a gentle silence enveloped the room, and Alex could feel the exhaustion in every movement Zara made. She had tried to endure the powerful transformation in her body, but she couldn't hide the fatigue and discomfort. However, amid these harsh challenges, an unexpected change occurred, a situation that made both of them laugh. Zara, in a state of needing help, decided to try using a medical scanner from the station to check her body's condition. This device could track biological metrics and provide information about her health, something Zara hoped would help stabilize her physiological changes. She stood before the machine, her hands trembling as she manipulated the control panel. Alex stood behind, anxiously watching her every movement. But as soon as Zara pressed the start button, the machine made strange noises, and the screen flashed a bright red error message. "Oh no," Zara exhaled, frowning at the screen. I just meant to check my health." Alex looked at the machine, unable to hold back his laughter. The way Zara, who had once been an elite diplomat, was struggling to fix a machine she didn't know how to operate was really funny. Zara, her face showing clear signs of embarrassment, turned to look at him, her eyes filled with disappointment. "How could I break a medical scanner?" Zara said, her voice somewhat confused but still strong. "I can't believe it. I really can't believe this." Alex couldn't stop laughing. This scene was completely different from the image of an expert diplomat he had imagined. Zara, calm and composed, now seemed like an embarrassed girl, trying to fix the broken machine without knowing what she had done. This made Alex feel that the closeness between them had become stronger than ever. "I think the scanner might be broken due to too much data from your body, or maybe it's because of my pheromones." Alex joked, laughing while trying to help Zara redo the actions. Zara looked at him with a confused expression, then suddenly burst into laughter, even though she still felt embarrassed. "Maybe I need a little help, but don't think I don't know how to handle these things myself," she said, but then couldn't stop laughing when she saw Alex's face. "This is so embarrassing." They stood there for a moment, their laughter echoing gently in the quiet room. This moment, though just a small mishap, brought a strange sense of relaxation. The tension they had shared in the past hours seemed to dissolve into the air, replaced by laughter and a softer connection. Zara walked closer to Alex, her eyes shining with a touch of mischief. "You're laughing too much, Alex. Maybe I'll have to find a new scanner, but this time I'll ask for your help," Zara said, giving a light smile, as if she had overcome some of the tension within herself. Alex smiled back, his gaze becoming gentler. "All right, I'll help you, but we're definitely going to find a scanner that doesn't break so easily." Zara giggled, the embarrassment completely gone. She felt the strong bond between her and Alex, not only because of the challenges they faced, but also because of moments like this. Those light, humorous, yet warm moments. Suddenly, the scene in the proxy mining station became chaotic. The alarm rang, breaking the silence like a hammer strike to the head, making Alex's heart race. Something bad was approaching. Before he could react, the red light of the alarm illuminated every corner of the room, and a growl echoed from afar, coming from the outside area of the station. The Scarn were coming, and this time, they weren't just here to intimidate. Alex quickly ran to Zara, who was still standing there, her hand gripping the table, her movements unsteady. Zara's body was struggling with uncontrollable physiological changes, making it impossible for her to fully control herself. She tried to stand firm, but it felt like her body was being twisted by an invisible force. "Zara, are you okay?" Alex called out, while his own body was preparing for the upcoming confrontation. "We need to go, now." Zara looked at him with fearful eyes, her lips pressed tightly together, trying to regain her composure. I can't control my body, Alex, but we have to face them." Her voice whispered, her inner strength unyielding, despite her body fighting against everything. Alex had no time to analyze her condition anymore. He grabbed Zara's arm and pulled her into a nearby safe room, but he couldn't hide his concern as she stumbled. Though there was a defense plan in place, Alex knew that he couldn't face this large-scale attack alone, especially with Zara unable to fight like before. Everything had changed too quickly. "You need to stay here and wait for me," Alex said, trying to keep his voice strong. "I'll handle them." Zara shook her head, determined. "No, I can't sit still. I have to fight," she said, her voice firm. "I'm part of this team, Alex. No matter what, I can't leave you alone." But when Zara stood up, her body started reacting forcefully again. Her legs gave out, and she had to grab onto the door to maintain her balance. Alex quickly rushed to support her, the concern growing more evident on his face. "Zara, you can't do this in your current condition," Alex warned. But Zara only looked at him with determination in her eyes. "Alex, if we don't act right now, there won't be any chance left," she shouted, although her breathing had started to become labored. "I can't just stand by and watch." The two of them ran to the final battle position of the base. As Alex checked his weapon and the defense system, a loud noise from outside the gate echoed, the heavy footsteps of the invaders approaching. The cries and growls of the Scarn reverberated through the space, a warning that could not be ignored. The attack had begun. Everything erupted when the main door was breached. A group of Scarns stormed in, charging toward the room with crude weapons. Alex quickly fired back, taking down a few from the first group, but the number of Scarn was overwhelming. They kept rushing toward them, their sharp blades gleaming in the red light of the station. Zara struggled to stand firm, gun in hand, but her body couldn't react as quickly as before. She fired once, but missed. Sweat streamed down her forehead as the pain from the physiological changes surged. Still, her resilience remained unbroken. She gritted her teeth, firing again, and this time, the bullet hit its mark. One Scarn fell to the ground. "Zara, you did well," Alex yelled as he continued to fight, seeing her determination. But just when they thought they had the upper hand, another, larger group of Scarn rushed in. They attacked with tight coordination, and this time, Alex couldn't protect Zara from everything. One Scarn rushed toward her, swinging a blade, and she barely managed to step back. Alex couldn't let that happen. He charged forward, pushing Zara out of harm's way. But at the same time, he had to face an attack from another Scarn. A powerful blow struck his arm from behind, sending him to the ground. Zara, though in a compromised state, quickly drew her gun and shot the one attacking Alex, saving him miraculously. "Are you okay?" Zara gasped, running to help Alex get up. Alex took her hand, his eyes full of resolve. "We can't let ourselves be defeated. We'll fight to the end." Although Zara's body was still changing, the connection between her and Alex was stronger than ever. The two of them continued to fight with what seemed like an unexplainable strength, not just for the mission, but because of the belief and connection they had built over time. They both understood that if they didn't stand together, if they didn't support each other, the station wouldn't stand a chance against the wave of Scarn attacks. Fire shot from all directions as Alex and Zara continued to battle in the besieged base. The ground trembled under powerful explosions, and the station's equipment and weapons emitted constant screeches. The Scarn relentlessly advanced, like wolves hunting for prey. Both Alex and Zara knew that if they didn't fight with all their might, they wouldn't survive. Zara struggled to stand firm, even though her body still wasn't fully under control. She felt sharp pain with every movement, but she couldn't stop. Her arm held the gun tightly, her eyes sharp as a knife, not allowing anyone to get close to Alex. Despite the weakness in her body due to the physiological changes, Zara held her ground, gripping the weapon with determination. She couldn't let Alex fight alone. Alex glanced at Zara, clearly seeing the exhaustion in her eyes, but also the unyielding resilience. "We're not giving up," he said firmly. "We can do this." At the same time, a group of Scarn rushed in from the left. One held a long knife, swinging it toward Zara. But Alex intervened in time, deflecting the weapon with his hand before shooting it in the chest. Zara didn't hesitate, shooting the remaining Scarn, each shot landing precisely. However, she felt the pain in her body intensifying, making it even harder to keep her focus. When another Scarn charged at them with a vicious growl, Alex couldn't react fast enough. The Scarn swung at him, but Zara acted immediately. She rushed forward, pushing Alex away and using her combat knife to block the attack. However, with her weakened strength, she couldn't hold on for long, and the Scarn prepared to strike her. Alex yelled, firing his gun repeatedly at the attacking Scarn. The bullet pierced through the attacker's body, sending it to the ground. But the attack was far from over. The Scarn kept coming from all directions, giving them no time to rest. "Zara, we need to get out of here," Alex shouted, quickly glancing toward the escape door. That door was the only exit, but it was positioned in an area easily attacked. Zara looked in the direction he pointed, feeling her strength drain, but unable to stop. She bit her lip, trying to stay focused. "Go, I'll follow you." The two of them started moving toward the escape door. But before they could reach it, a large explosion went off right near them, shaking the base violently. Both were knocked to the ground, dust and debris flying everywhere. Zara coughed violently, her vision blurred from the smoke. A part of her body began reacting even more strongly, and she felt like she couldn't continue fighting. "Zara," Alex called out, seeing her buried under the rubble. He rushed to her, pushing the debris aside to free her. Sweat dotted his forehead, but he couldn't stop. As the debris was cleared, Alex saw Zara, still alive but exhausted. She coughed lightly, but her eyes shone with an unwavering determination. "I'm fine," she whispered. "Keep going." Alex had no choice but to pull Zara out of the danger zone, even though his body was fatigued and tense. The two of them continued running toward the escape door, but a new group of Scarn appeared, blocking their path. Without thinking, Alex quickly threw a grenade into the Scarn crowd. The explosion happened in an instant, knocking the enemies back. Alex and Zara didn't stop running, reaching out toward the escape door. The smoke still thickened. The gunshots continued from behind, but they didn't slow down. When they finally reached the escape door, Alex quickly scanned the security code to open it. The door slid open, revealing a narrow path leading out of the facility, where a transport vehicle was waiting. "We made it, Zara," Alex said with a slight smile, but in his eyes the tension and fatigue were still unmistakable. They had survived, but it wasn't over yet. The battle wasn't just with the Scarn, but also with the challenges they had to face. Zara looked at Alex, a weary smile on her lips. "We survived because we have each other." As they climbed into the transport vehicle, the proxy mining facility behind them remained engulfed in smoke and chaos. But they knew that they had done what few thought was possible: to fight, survive, and most importantly, overcome unimaginable challenges. Time passed, and Zara felt the changes in her body more acutely. The physiological transformations she had undergone weren't just on the surface. Her ability to control energy within her body had become much stronger than anything she had ever known. Her senses were sharper, and her muscle strength had far surpassed the normal limits of her Vixen species. Every movement, every breath was filled with power she had never imagined. But with this strength also came a feeling of unease. Zara realized that her body no longer fully belonged to her. It was changing, and those changes were not easy to control. The connection between Zara and Alex also began to grow clearer. The changes in Zara's body didn't just affect her, they also impacted Alex. The bond they shared now went beyond the physical, reaching a level they had never imagined. Every time they touched, Alex could feel the powerful energy radiating from Zara, like an electric current running through him. The sensation was both powerful and dangerous, but also irresistible. Zara looked at Alex, her eyes filled with worry. "Alex, I'm not the same anymore. I'm not just a diplomat. I'm something different. This power, I can't control it fully." Alex looked at Zara, realizing that she was not only facing physical transformations but also difficult questions about herself. He couldn't deny that their connection had changed, but he wasn't sure if it would bring great risks in the future. "Zara, I understand how you feel, but we can't go back to our old lives. Something bigger has happened between us. And I can't go back," Alex said, his eyes filled with resolve. "But can we survive in a world where this connection can't be accepted?" Zara remained silent, her eyes thoughtful. "I don't know, but one thing I'm sure of, Alex, is that I can't give up this bond no matter the consequences." A week after the Scarn attack, the Federation continued to contact Zara, demanding her immediate return. They were concerned about her transformation and the potential effects it could have on Federation policies and regulations. The tension mounted as the Federation insisted that Zara return for a health check and investigation into this change. However, Zara couldn't simply leave. Alex stood opposite her, his heart heavy. "What can we do, Zara? The Federation can't let you stay here. They'll consider us a threat, and once you return, they'll find a way to separate us." Zara looked at Alex, her eyes no longer filled with confusion, but with an unshakable determination. "Alex, I can't leave. I have a responsibility. These changes in my body aren't just personal. This is an opportunity for us to explore things never seen before in science, to change how different species can coexist and communicate. I have to finish this mission." But Alex knew that every decision they made could change the lives of millions. The Federation wouldn't easily accept such significant changes, especially when it involved alien technology and beings like Zara. They were too used to controlling everything, and the freedom Zara had found in this new life could be a danger to all. "So what will you do?" Alex asked, his voice full of worry but also support. "Are you going to face the Federation?" Zara clenched his hand, her eyes fixed on him with a resolve that nothing could shake. "I won't give up this mission. We'll change this world, not by going back to the Federation, but by moving forward." Finally, after days of thinking and inner struggles, Zara and Alex made a decision. They couldn't return to their old lives. The connection they shared, the transformation in Zara's body, had all led them to a new path, one no one could have imagined. They decided to stay, to continue exploring and developing the untapped potential of Proxy. "We'll stay here, explore every possibility. Both you and I have changed, and that's a good thing," Alex said, his voice full of confidence. "We won't let any force stop us." Zara looked at him, feeling a connection stronger than ever before. "Thank you, Alex. I know I can't do this alone. We will create a new future together, where humans and aliens can grow, share, and build a better world." The two of them stood on a hill near the mining station, looking toward the horizon where the potential of Proxy had yet to be fully realized. Under the vast sky, they knew that a new chapter in their lives had begun. A chapter no one could predict. But they weren't afraid. They had each other, and that was the most important thing.